This is the Ethanol Report, the industry podcast from the Renewable Fuels Association since 2008. I'm Cindy Zimmerman. Move over, boys of summer. There's a new game in town. The new Professional Softball League will be making the Girls of Summer the hottest game in the country this year, and the Kansas City Diamonds will be leading the way, fueled by the Renewable Fuels Association and E15. RFA has just announced a partnership with the KC Diamonds to promote lower-cost, American-made E15, while at the same time supporting women's professional sports. I'm speaking today with Jeremy McDowell, president of the Kansas City Diamonds, and Robert White, senior vice president of industry relations and market development for RFA. And Jeremy, let's start with you telling me about the Kansas City Diamonds.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, definitely a new, exciting opportunity here in Kansas City and the overall region. Women's professional sports has just incredibly grown over the last decade, and we already know that Kansas City is a hotbed for professional sports, and we're already known as kind of the women's sports capital of the world. And we are now get the opportunity to bring a professional softball team to Kansas City with the Kansas City Diamonds. And we are just really excited about the 2026 inaugural season and, really, getting our roots established here in the city and the region to have this be a franchise that's around for many years to come.
Well, so Jeremy, tell me how you got together with Robert and the RFA to make this partnership with the Kansas City Diamonds a reality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So had the opportunity to, Robert had reached out and we had put together most recently a partnership team in the last 3 or 4 months, because we didn't launch this team until January 1st of this year. So we were not sure if this team was going to be, in full operations in 26 or if this was going to be a little bit more of a 27 project. And the stars aligned and we were able to get this off the ground in 26. And so for us, we're very partner driven, community minded. It's very important that that we want to put a successful, team on the field, but just as more importantly, we want a team that is really involved in the community and really able to impact the community and impact the next generation. And so looking for those founding members and those founding partners that want to, establish the roots and lock arms with us. And just getting to talk to Robert and our partnership team, getting to talk to Robert, it just made, the whole idea of getting to refuel the Diamonds and how that can tie in. And then which is really cool is we are the first women's professional softball team to have a patch. And so, we've seen that in baseball most recently. You've seen it in soccer for a while, right? And so, for us to have our first patch partner and be on these uniforms, and then of course so much more a part of the partnership. But just excited to get this off the ground.
Well, Robert, tell me what made you think this was something that RFA wanted to be involved in, to be the official fuel of this organization for a new softball league in Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City is home for me, so it's easy sell. But the team is going to play across the country, and women's sports just continues to grow in popularity. And when I saw the news of the area getting one of the 7 professional teams, I just knew there was an opportunity here. So I reached out to the Diamonds, and me raising a young daughter as a softball player, I just see the excitement. I know that this will be generational for the area, for the region, and for the country. And so as we're looking for opportunities to promote E15 to consumers, and so here's an opportunity where we're going to have fans of all age groups, of multiple generations, learning about the Diamonds, learning about this professional sports league for the first time. And so it's just a natural opportunity. And I was just pleasantly surprised with how well this linked up. And so we're excited to get the season started. We're excited to get that patch on these uniforms and meet these young ladies and get the season started.
So there's 40 games here in the season, and tell us about some of the components of the sponsorship and what is coming up people can look forward to.
So we got a lot of things going on, Cindy. I mean, there's a lot of in-game activation. The cool thing about having the patch is they'll be able to see that, no matter where they're playing, if you're watching them on TV or in the stands. But there's a certain inning per game where we'll talk about E15 and have some giveaways. We're actually going to do some promotions at local E15 fuel retailers where we'll do the pump promotions, where we'll have players from the team out there giving away tickets. We're going to have E15 specific tickets where you can get 2 tickets for $15 to certain games. We're going to have a lot of different promotions, and we're going to do some activations. And probably the culmination of all of this is going to be on July 25th, where the RFA and E15 specifically, we're just going to take over the whole darn game. And we're going to be very excited about that. And we're going to make sure fans are well aware of where they can buy E15 in the area, what vehicles can use it, and why they would use it. And the special part to me was the RFA members that are within a stone's throw, or a softball's throw, I guess, of the Legends Field there in Kansas City, Kansas, all jumped on board to be part of this. And so I know that this is a very special promotion to them, and they're going to be a part of this. And we're going to see this, leach out into the communities. But the fuel that these fans are ultimately going to be using as they go out and find E15 in their local communities is going to be coming from local communities themselves. This is not fuel coming from afar. This is going to be fuel coming from within a couple 100 miles. And so I think that's something that's going to resonate really well. And that's the story that we get to tell in multiple different ways throughout the season.
So as you mentioned, they're playing teams from all over the country, right? So they're going to have people visiting Kansas City. They'll be going out to other cities, other states around the country. So you'll be promoting this to more than just the Kansas City area, right?
Yeah, that's what is great about this, I think, Cindy, and having a partner, with E15 is the opportunity with New York, Atlanta, Florida, Chattanooga. We're opening up in Puerto Rico. There's going to be 3 or 4 new expansion programs or teams coming in 2027. So as we look forward to the future, it's, we're at the ground zero of something really special. And we were able to, as a league, sign a first year national contract with a national TV platform and all women's sports networks. So to gain that type of exposure as well for, the team, the league, and then ultimately partners. It's, we're super excited about that.
Well, Jeremy, tell me a little bit more about the team itself and about the young women that you have involved and that'll be the stars of the game.
Yeah, it's incredible. We are, believe it or not, they report into next week. We start about a 2-week summer camp. And so we're excited to have them here. We've got our coaching staff, our strength and conditioning, physical therapists, all that lined up, team doctor, all the things that go into it. And they get in and they're being housed at a local university here in Kansas City. And that's kind of our, kind of like in football, they have like a camp, right, that everybody goes to for 2 weeks. Well, this is our camp here in Kansas City for 2 weeks. And we get to open up in Puerto Rico with part of the federation down there for 3 games, June 12th through the 14th. And then our big home opener is June 17th. And we are, shooting for 6,000 fans there to fill the stadium and open up this franchise and open up, the PSL season in a big wow factor. So we get to play 21 home games between June 17th and July 26th. So there's a huge opportunities for fans in the region to get out and see these amazing women. For folks that have not got to see this sport at a high level, I grew up playing a lot of sports. I grew up playing baseball. There's not a better sport out there than women's fast pitch. The athleticism of these women, the speed of the game, everything's played at such short distances, 43 feet pitching, 60-foot bases. The energy inside the stadium, the energy inside those dugouts, there's nothing like it. The game's quick. The fan experience will be second to none when they get out there. And then the thing I love about women's fast pitch and being around it for 15 plus years and now really feeling like now's the time to, really invest into it is the accessibility to these professional players. They believe in the next generation. They believe in pioneering something because these women are not getting paid, a full-time livable wage, right? They get to play for 2 months, and a lot of them go back to coaching collegiately somewhere. A lot of them have other types of jobs, or a few of them will play year-round in other international markets from Japan to Mexico to Italy, whatever it might be, to be able to play year-round. And not very many people can, do that. So the space is limited, but I'm telling you, there's not a better sport out there. It is the next big sport for women. And we are just blessed and happy to have that right here in Kansas City for this region.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. And Robert, do you think that your daughter will be able to do that someday?
I don't know. She's just now starting to pitch, and she's pretty excited. We have our first game tonight, so the future's wide open. But she's definitely excited about these diamonds. So we're excited to get the season started here in Kansas City, and she's very excited that the RFA is part of it.
Well, tell us a little bit more. You mentioned the local partners, but talk about some of them. That includes the corn growers, right? The local state corn growers in Kansas and Missouri.
That's correct. So the Kansas corn and Missouri corn are both part of the collaboration and support to help make sure RFA was able to be that patch on the shoulder, if you will, of these uniforms, along with Show Me Ethanol, Mid Missouri Energy, and East Kansas Agri Energy, 3 ethanol producers, 1 on the Kansas side, 2 on the Missouri side, and then Pinion. Pinion is a accounting firm here on the Kansas side, just down the road from where the Diamonds will play. So, as I mentioned, it didn't take much of a sell to get these local members on board. They have seen the excitement around women's sports over the last few years. And when I took this to fellow staff and to our board most recently at our April board meeting, there was not any negativity around this idea. They have seen this grow across the country, and they know that softball, I've been watching it at the collegiate level for a few years now, and just most recently as the seasons are wrapping up. And man, the excitement you see, I just can't wait to see it live and in a professional setting here. But as they travel around the countryside, and I just know that this will be a golden opportunity, especially as E15 has become a headline term in the recent weeks, especially around all the action in Congress and as it moves into the Senate. That we have E15 for sale this summer, but we have a lot of work to do both in Washington and Sacramento. That this will help spread the word that as consumers are having to tighten down the wallets and the purses, that there is a lower cost option that's suitable for over 96% of the motoring public, that they can save money, and the Diamonds are going to help us spread that word.
And it also ties in with your outreach to women and your projects like the Girls Auto Clinic, realizing that women make a lot of we drive and we make our choices about what gas we're going to drive, what gas we're going to put in our car, right?
You make more choices than the men do. I mean, that's a statistical fact, and I think it gets lost a lot of times, is that you make more decisions on the vehicles that are driven on the roads today, and you make more decisions on the fuel that is purchased, and it can't be lost. We're trying to sell fuel, and that's important. And so I think the old adage of, we listen to our fathers and the mechanics. While that may be true in some situations, the ultimate decision is coming down to women more often than not. And whether it's the women that are doing Lord's work out in the Girls Auto Clinic out in the Northeast region, or the professional softball league that we're partnering here with the Kansas City Diamonds, I think this is the next logical step, and they're going to be not only role models for a lot of young women, but they're going to be potentially role models for men and women of all ages.
All right, so the important takeaways here is the Kansas City Diamonds, this new team, and the first day, the first game, the first home game again, Jeremy, is June when?
17th.
June 17th, and the big E15 fan appreciation night is going to be July 25th, right?
Correct.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
You can learn more about the promotion and obviously more about E15 on our website at ethanolrfa.org. But a quick way to find out more about this partnership is fuelthediamonds.com.
All right, very good. Once again, that website to find out more about the partnership is fuelthediamonds.com. And that's it for this edition of the Ethanol Report. Thanks for listening.